Hello there, I'm Brian.
And I'm Brian.
And this is Brian versus Brian. One name, two opinions. Episode 131. Knock at the Cabin. That's the film's title, Knock at the Cabin. Right? Based off The Cabin at the End of the World.
Yes.
Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Way
Am I pronouncing that right? Mr. Raz Al Ghul? Yeah, released February 3rd. Just came out. M. Night Shyamalan, of course, based on the book by, what's the author's name? Tremblay?
Paul Tremblay, yeah.
Yeah, The Cabin at the End of the World. I don't mind the title. Shyamalan said it's different, and he wanted the title to be different. So, whatever. Knock at the Cabin. Cabin at the End of the World. I think they're both pretty good. They're both pretty ominous. So, Shyamalan, yeah. I don't know. Where do we want to start? With the movie or So this coming from somebody I've never read the book. You've read the book multiple times, right?
Twice, yeah.
That's multiple times.
Yes. I read it. The first time I read it, I think it was during the pandemic. I had everything was closed, obviously, and I had one of these apps that connected to your library account, and I was downloading digital books basically, and that was just one of the ones I picked up. And then I just reread it a couple weeks ago in preparation for the movie because it's been a couple years, so it's a little fresher in my mind. Yeah, so I've read it twice.
And I've not read it at all. So the opinion. It'll be interesting, our opinions.
Yeah.
The versus the bookworm and the butterfly, I loved this. It just gets going.
Yeah.
So Wen is the little adopted Asian. The gay couple always has a little Asian kid. And it's a bit of Modern Family in this. But little Asian daughter catching grasshoppers, and I was like, damn, we're in it, dude. Well, I didn't know if we were in it because she's just catching grasshoppers, but then Batista walks up. I was like, yep, fuck. 4 seconds in.
No
I love
backstory,
it.
Nothing. We're just
I love it. I hate when I thought we were gonna, because I've seen the trailer and we've had some clips of them from their past and stuff. I was like, we're gonna have to get through all that before we get to the cabin.
Yeah.
Nope. Batista walks up. What are you doing, little girl? My name is Leonard. Can I help you catch grasshoppers? In his tight ass button up shirt, his tattoos showing and shit. So he says, yeah, and she's kind of apprehensive about it, and he eventually tells her. Well, she sees his 4 friends walk up ominously through the woods at different, varying degrees of closeness.
Just strolling through the woods.
Yeah. And then they have weapons. First of all, she's like, why are they all coming from different directions? And why aren't they in a group? Why they got to come out like it's fucking, Children of the Corn or some shit? Didn't they walk here together? What, they all come in different they come in different cars?
Yeah.
So she's sees the weapons, she's a little turned off, and she starts to leave. And Leonard, or Batista, is when your daddies aren't going to want us to come in, but you're going to have to tell them, you're going to have to convince them. I don't know if they're going to listen to me. I'm 7. And, they're adults. They don't usually listen to what I say. But anyways, he puts that in there just for a little help. And then she goes into the cabin, tells her daddies. What was it? Daddy Eric and Daddy what?
Andrew.
Andrew tells the dads, and they immediately, of course, don't believe her. I like how they just don't believe her. They're on the back porch. Oh, come on, it's the fun out here. Just get inside, motherfuckers.
They got weapons. They're like, oh,
they got sickles. What kind of weapons? Like Ninja Turtles? We got a bow staff. That would have been way cool. One got a bow staff, size, nunchucks. So they finally do go in, and then oh my God, there are people on the porch. And they kind of, he's like, oh, yeah, do you have your gun? I have my gun. Where is it? It's in the car. Fuck. Why? keep it on you, man. A lot of good it's going to do. The fucking murderers and the robbers will be like, I need to go to my car, sir. Oh. Of course. Yeah, and it just immediately starts. They knock like the fucking police, dude. That knock. It's like, like 10. Like, damn, I heard you, motherfucker. Yeah. God dang. And they know you're here. The knock's unnecessary. Well, we had to, as part of the, the prophecy. The prophesy, I had to knock.
Yeah, it's weird. So, just as a side note, when I looked at the movie times to go see this, it was like so bizarre. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:20, and then there was a gap, and then it was like 9:50. And I was like, how do you go from 3:20 to 9:50? And then I scrolled down, and there's one showtime at 6:50, but it said closed captions. And I was like, that's kind of weird. So we went to that one, and we watched stuff with subtitles anyway, whatever. Anyways, the reason why I'm bringing that up.
Not in the theater. That's the weirdest shit.
But the reason why I'm bringing that up is when he knocks, it says knock 7 times on the subtitles. I'm wondering if there's a significance of that, of like a biblical significance of 7. I didn't know if that was.
Yeah, for whom the bell tolls or some. I think that is significant. So, I wanted to get into something that happened at the theater, man. This theater I usually go to is pretty unpacked. This is probably the most packed thing I've seen other than Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
In a long time. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 groups of 2 or 3 people. Mm-hmm. But the last group to come in was this fucking, I don't know, white trashy kind of guy, tattoos and shit. He looked like, I don't know, does meth. And he had 2 trashy women with him, and they all, I think, were inebriated. Ugh. I went to a 1:30 showing. So they come in kind of sloppy. And one of them, I'm in the first row with the rail, with the walkway. I like that one. Right. One up from the walkway, so you get lots of foot room. No one's sitting in front of you. That's my favorite spot. It's right in the middle of the theater. So one of them walks down to that first row down and sits. And while the 2 are standing in the walkway, and then I could tell it was going to be bad. As the one standing, he's like, no, we're not sitting there. No, here. Like to the right. To the right of that, the railing, it's one down and to the right. They got the things. Yeah. And I was like, that's a terrible fun. I just wanted to, that's a terrible spot. Why would you sit off to the right? Look at the screen like fucking that.
Your head turned, yeah.
Like, why would you choose, if there's seats, to sit to the right? And she's just, come on! Here! And fucking sloppy lady gets up. I'm like, oh, god damn. No.
Question: is your theater like you choose the seats, or is this first come first serve type of thing? Oh, so yeah, it's the Wild West in there apparently.
Yeah, you could just choose, and that's what they chose. Fuck me, right? Throughout the movie, man, she's just wailing and fucking. They're all fucked up, and there's some weird fucking dynamic going on, man, because he kisses the brunette one next to him, and then the blonde one reaches over and kisses her, and then they all 3 kissed in a fucking trifecta of meth. I was like, what the fuck is this, dude?
What the hell?
Oh my god. And it was okay for a while. I shushed her once. Another guy shushed him, and I think they got the idea, but then by the end they didn't give a fuck. Near the climax, I was so tempted to leave during the climax, but I was like, dude, I'm not going to miss this, but I need these people kicked out of this goddamn theater.
That sucks, man.
It's like one point I don't want to miss it, but I'm not fully enjoying it, And one of the guys got pissed. Quiet! She's like, fuck that! I'm not the fucking do shit! just fucking going off, cursing. And then at the climax, fucking shoot her! Oh my god, what's fucking taking, so just fucking shoot the bitch! Just do it. I'm like, dude. Jesse's like, don't fucking say anything. I'm like, oh, I fucking can't. Like, oh my god. So anyways, that's what I had to deal with. It was so ridiculous. And then I get out to I always refill my big popcorn before I leave, so I have some for home. And I see them out there. They're in the photo booth. All three of the methies. And they're just good. The picture! And it doesn't work. And the guy's like, we haven't had it turned on since COVID. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Will you take my picture? And then I'm kind of near there, and I was about to say, fuck no. You ruined my fucking movie.
Yeah.
And the guy took the camera, and I went and got the popcorn, and there's a girl up there, and I said, that's exactly how they were during the whole fucking movie. Fucking assholes. And she's like, she didn't know what to say. I don't think she was a cursor.
Yeah.
You know, I think she felt bad for me, but I think I blew her mind with fucking assholes. You know? And then I saw her go quietly, like, back to me. You know how they do? Like, didn't... Like a coach calling a play and hiding their mouth. Yeah. She's like telling the guy, and I can see the guy looking at me. It's like,
oh man.
So, anyways, it's an experience.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, those fuckers. 1:30, really, guys.
Yeah.
How much? And then, we'll get to the movie, but this is too good. And then eventually, at the end of the movie, like, let's go to fucking Yakima. I was like, it's just a random ass. You guys have nothing to do but smoke meth and fucking. You got nothing planned. Let's go to the movie. What's out? Jesus. Let's go to Yakima. And then they're like, we can stop at the casino. I was like, fuck, dude. Fuck, dude. Jesus.
Well, that sucks. I mean, that's the reason why you go to midday showtimes to avoid, because nighttime crews are usually when you get those fuckers that come in drunk. And that happened with me the first time we saw Maverick. Luckily, it wasn't around me. It was way, because we sit in the like very front because we're weirdos. But in the very, very back, there was a guy who was like really into Maverick for some woo, it's good, like that kind of shit. And you can hear beer cans rattling, and like there's a fight that broke out. It's like Jesus. But yeah, that's
fuck yeah! He bought his own boombox. He's blaring fucking Danger Zone.
Yeah.
Oh god. So Leonard is there with his compatriots, Sabrina, Adrian, and Redmond. I don't remember who was Sabrina, the cook or the nurse.
I think the nurse. Adrian was the cook. Yeah.
Adrian's the cook. They claim to have never met before, and they just had some... Well, how do they... Oh, yeah. He said, you got to let us in. Come on, man. We're going to get in, man. And then they push the fucking dresser in front of the all-glass French doors. Yeah. That'll get them!
like a couch or something, yeah.
There's too much glass in here. You're not going to fucking stop this from happening. Yeah. If they really want in. So eventually, they do get in. And then we got Ron Weasley getting his ass kicked for a second. Oh, it's like he didn't put up a fight at all.
Yeah.
And come to find out, this guy beat his ass earlier in his life in a bar. This time he got his ass dealt, but I don't know. He's like, you beat my ass like my dad used to. Some stupid line like that. So they all get in there and they tie him up and they explain why they're there. Hello. My name is Dave Bautista. I'm a second grade teacher. You know, I do the after school programs. As you may know, my name is Leonard. Hi, how are you? Sorry we met like this. Dude, standout was Bautista, of course.
Oh yeah, so
Bautista.
good.
Bautista was great, man.
That seems to be a common theme with this guy, man. Because every time I see him, it's like, man, he's becoming like one of the best wrestler turn act. I mean, there's not a lot, but. You know, to choose from, I think Bautista's becoming like the best actor. I mean, Rock is probably the most like successful actor, but
Rock's a fucking terrible actor. Yeah. He's a fucking terrible actor. He hasn't done anything with any depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like his part in Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That part was fucking amazing.
So good, and it's so
small
short,
and just good.
Great, yeah.
You know. how do you feel killing your own kind? And all that. That's good. It reminded me of that a lot. Just so reserved, and then like there's something boiling underneath the surface, though. Really great. Loved it. And Rupert, whatever the fuck his name is, as Redmond, was good.
Yeah.
Shyamalan saying that he said he had just worked with him. What was he in?
He was in. I was about to bring this up in the show because we talked about Shyamalan's filmography when we did Signs, and I completely forgot about. There's a show on Apple Plus called Servant, and M. Night Shyamalan is sometimes the director. He's an executive producer on that show. But Rupert Grint is in that show. He's like one of the main characters, and that show is fucking awesome. If you do have Apple Plus, either you or our audience, definitely check Servant out. It's really, really good.
And what was the other? One of the other females he had worked with. I don't know which one.
Ooh, I don't know.
I think it was in something recent. Maybe it was in old or something. I don't know.
Oh, maybe maybe the actress who plays Sabrina was in Old. There's so many characters in Old, it's hard to fucking remember. All I remember is Mid-Size Sedan. The the rapper Mid-Size Sedan for the win. God damn it.
So yeah, we also got to say, Shyamalan is quickly becoming one of our highest reviewed directors for some reason. We always happen to have a Shyamalan movie on hand.
Yeah.
I don't know, I bought these DVDs at the thrift market. You want to review them? Yeah. Let's go. I don't know how it happened, but I think.
I mean, I still want to keep it going. I don't think we've seen Last Airbender. Neither have I, and that would be a very fun fucking review to
do. We should do that. There's a twist. So yeah, Rupert. It was a kind of a different role, so that was kind of cool. It's short. I thought it was shorter than I thought. Like, he's the first one to die. Like, the thing is, Leonard tells him, you're gonna have to make this choice. One of you have to sacrifice someone in your family to save the world. It has to be completely your choice, and you have to do it. If you refuse to choose, or if you back out, the world will end. And I'm gonna ask you. I think he's gonna ask him 4 times. We'll give you time in between. Every time you say no, we will unleash a plague upon the earth. And so apparently it's the people. So like Redmond is the first one. Will you do it? They're not gonna fucking do it, man. Of course they're not, man. I wouldn't. And then you kind of realize what's going on because he pulls out this hood and hoods himself. So obviously he's got to die. He's the first plague, the first no. So then like he stands there, and it's really emotionally gets all scared. I'm scared, man. Yeah. He has the hood on. And then like you hear all 3 of their they got like pickaxe, weird handmade axe type weapons. So you'd hear 3 all 3 of them thud into his head. Then Leonard turns on the television and says, okay, this is the first plague. And then it's kind of not happening right away. Like, there was already an earthquake that happened before this, so that's not the plague. And they're like, what? Why is it not happening? And, the people, they're kind of doubting their visions that were all the same. Their visions were the same. They met on a chat room, exactly the same visions, and that's how they became a group. But one of the girls, what's that? When's it gonna? Leonard, it's gonna happen. Hold on. I hope it's gonna happen. They're all got a little doubtful at this point. Now they're really going through with it. But then we see the footage. How'd they get the footage? I don't know. They get the footage of the super tsunami. This footage was posted on the Facebook. And then the fucking 50-foot wave coming in. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The new stuff took me out of the movie because it does not look like news. Like, for one, people film things vertically and not horizontally. So the whole thing like covers the screen and it's all like cinematic. I'm like, I don't know. It kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. Like, this is too.
Some people know to hold their phone sideways for a video, and
I don't know about that. You watch TikTok, they're all fucking vertical.
Well, that's just the TikTok.
Yeah, I guess
thing. I mean, then TikTok is made to be scrolled through in that format, so then it'd be widescreen and it'd be weird. People looking at TikTok sideways.
Ow!
Woo! So that's the first, like another earthquake right off the coast of like Oregon and stuff, right in the Pacific Ocean. And it hits Oregon and Seattle and all those, Hawaii decimated, all this stuff. That's the first one. And they still don't believe it. You know, Eric and Andrew are like, no. No matter how many times you ask us, it's going to be no. We're not fucking killing one of ours. Nope, not doing it. And then we just get more great stuff from Batista. He puts on the movie and stuff, and you get great stuff like I'm sorry when I have to turn it down. Okay. Just a little bit, and it's just some great stuff.
I love it too. I kind of like this show. I've never seen it before, but I feel like it shows compassion and love, and I love it. Yeah, it was a really good moment.
It teaches compassion and empathy. I think. Empathy, fucking empathy.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember which one, but one of the guys thinks this is like a targeted attack because he's gay or because they're gay. And I love that. I love that dialogue. We had no idea you were a same-sex couple before we came here. That's unimportant to us. Oh, yeah, bullshit, man. And then it's like, all of them, sir, I don't have a homophobic bone in my body. I don't.
Yeah.
And then, but that doesn't help their case when he starts to piece together that, whoa, hang on, this guy, that's the guy who fucking beat me with a bottle in the bar that one time.
Yeah.
And then he's like, his name is Rupert. His name isn't Rupert. The guy's name was Bronson or something. And he's like, check his ID. And then he's like, no. And someone's like, why? And Batista's like, it doesn't matter what his name is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. So that was pretty good. Yeah, he might have done it, but it doesn't change what we're doing, okay?
Yeah. Stick to the matter at hand, people. Let's not get sidetracked here.
And so by the time we get to the second one, who was the second one? Not the nurse,
Adrian.
right? Yeah, it was the cook. She's a cook. She explains her life. She's like, well, I've been a lot of things. She just kind of jumps around. I forget which kind of fucking horseman she represented. The first guy was what? Like hate and like fucking, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Rage. And then she was something else. I don't know. You'd have to watch one of those deep. Oh, see, they're like the horsemen, video, and the colors correspond. I know that Leonard was like guidance. He was always like helping, guiding people. I don't remember what she was. But anyways, and her story is she doesn't have much of a story. She just bounces around, tries to keep a job, tries to support her son. Which they don't quite believe she has. I know a liar when I see one. She didn't have a son. So she's like, you guys really got to say yes. I'm next. I'm on deck, as they say. You know, really hoping you guys do it for me. Woo! So you're not gonna do it, are you? Okay.
Put the mask on then.
Yeah. And then they club her. They don't show much gore in this. They usually pan away for headshots like that. So now she's gone. And the next plague, they turn on the television. And then it's, what's the next one? It's the children's disease, is it?
Yeah, it's like a disease.
X90
plague,
or something.
Yeah.
It's got a weird name. It's some disease that affects like children. And thousands of children are dying around the world. So that's a bad one, because they're children, and you did this. You could have killed your child and saved all these children. And then the one guy is starting to, think about it. I can't remember which one of the two he is.
Oh, Eric, he sees a vision on Redmond's death. He sees some sort of... I'm going to stick to the movie here, and I'll talk about the book later on because I think it's worth mentioning. But in the movie, he sees some sort of flashy light,
a golden figure
in the mirror as before Redmond gets killed. So he's kind of wrestling
and I've seen stills of it. I couldn't tell it was in the movie. Did you notice it when you were watching it?
I didn't see a figure. I just saw like weird kind of lighting. Yeah.
There's like a figure. It's very faint and it's hard. It's not like you can't tell any human features. It's just like a silhouette.
Right.
but I didn't see it when it was happening. But yeah, he saw that, and he's kind of like, fuck, man, this is a lot of coincidences. He's starting to believe some of it, maybe, and he doesn't want to. And then the other guy, would you say that was, who was that? That was Eric?
That's Eric, yeah. Andrew is the one who's like not
Andrew,
any of it, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew's the one who's like, fuck that. I'll let all them die.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it is true, I don't give a fuck. And Eric said, even if it is true? Because they say the two options are either you choose someone from your family, sacrifice them, and save the world, or you will be the only three to survive, and you will walk the earth alone until your, grisly death of, like starvation. There'll be nothing left but scorched earth, and you'll be doomed. You'll have each other, but that is it. So, the next one was the kid illness. Yeah, like I said, he's starting to maybe believe it a little bit. And then at that point, I can't remember how. Yeah, Wen is like eating, right? Remember to that part? And she gets a knife or something.
Oh, yeah. It's like after breakfast. After the day after. I think it's before Adrian gets killed. I think he's actually cutting his rope as Adrian's kind of pleading for her life. Yeah.
So he has a knife, Eric. And then Andrew is kind of shimmying his way out. Kind of like the Last Dragon. Don't reach the upper level. He's like breakdancing out of the ropes. Give me 40 more minutes. I got it.
Oh, shit.
Got the glow. So he's working on that. And no one notices. They're just, well, I guess they think they're just going nuts. Like, oh,
yeah.
But behind their backs, like, it's like smoke coming out. They're working on these damn ropes like for days. God damn, what kind of rope did you buy? Shit is thick. It's a high quality rope. So, he's cutting through, and during that breakfast, there's more great stuff from Batista, man. The weakest part of this movie is the little girl. I mean, she's okay, but a lot of her dialogue comes across as just a little kid saying dialogue sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And he's like, you were very polite. Thank you, Wen. And it's very cool, calm, and collected. I love him in this. So he's working on that, and then he tells Wen to remember what you did at Thanksgiving? Yeah, do it. When I nod, do it. And then I think that happens, I don't know, during some dialogue. They're just talking to him more. They haven't asked him the third question yet, third time, which would be the nurse lady.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets out, or no, he doesn't get out. He's about to get out, and so he nods to her, and she goes, I want to watch it. It's the movie, and she's just screaming, ah! And it's funny because Batista's like, Leonard, okay, we're going to count down from 5. We're going to take a deep breath, Wen. Come on. This is not the way. He's trying to calm her down like one of his kids having a fit. And then he gets the ropes off. Boom, motherfucker. I don't remember how he's going to try and fight them because he doesn't have a weapon. Or I guess he has the knife.
He has the knife, yeah. He's like pointing the knife, yeah.
Yeah. Batista, I think it just let us go. Don't hurt us. And I think Batista said, we're not going to hurt you. We never were going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And is that when Andrew gets out too?
Yeah, like off to the corner. They're trying to deal with this Eric situation. And meanwhile, Andrew's shimmying out of his ropes. And he does get free. And then he kind of tiptoes out of the situation.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He leaves to get the gun that you should never leave in the place you're not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Goes out there. And he's like, that's the hobble. I've been sitting in a chair for 2 days. My legs are like noodles. Flopping his legs across. Like, oh, dude, you gotta fuck that, dude. I don't care. Get down and crawl, baby.
Yeah,
you gotta move faster than this. I'm cramping. And then the nurse finally kind of chases him. I don't want to do this. And hits him in the knee. Well, Nancy Kerrigan his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the door. And I think he does something, hits her away.
Gets the old dirt in the eyes trick.
Oh yeah. Damn you!
I'm blind.
The old Jean-Claude Van Damme. She goes. Blood sports his ass.
Yeah.
He gets in the truck, shuts the door. Still going slow as fuck. Even now because of the knee. He's like, crawling over the seat. Getting to the safe. Putting his. It's like Paul Rubin in the fucking Buffy.
Oh yeah.
And puts his thumb, and like it's not working. It's a thumb. It's a fucking fingerprint scanner. What do you mean it's not working? You put your finger on it. It's like, oh damn it, it's not unlocking. Come on, damn it.
Yeah.
I don't get that. It's like either your thumb's on it and it unlocks or it don't. You know, like what's going on? How does that work? It'd make way more sense if you're fiddling with a physical lock or something. But you just put your fucking finger on it and it should open.
I felt that a little bit. With my fucking phone here, there's many times I'm like trying to put the thing and want to unlock.
It ain't no gun safe.
I feel you, bro.
Like, let's see. Boom, open. Instantly. Didn't fiddle.
Oh, shit.
So I thought that was funny. I was like, it's a fucking... What the fuck? So anyways, he gets the gun out. I think she breaks the window at that point, right?
Yeah.
And then opens it. And it's kind of crawling through. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. Just please come back. And he shoots her. Is it there in the car he shoots her?
No, he shoots, but he doesn't hit her.
Oh, yeah. He shoots.
Like stops everyone in their track. Like, holy shit.
That's your warning!
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, he goes back into the house, right, to get them. So he's now got the gun. They're kind of in a group. I don't know why he shot her.
She runs off into the woods, and then he's like, okay, and then he walks back in the cabin and kind of takes control of the situation, and catches Leonard off guard basically, and then I think in the midst of that, she comes out of nowhere and just runs at him from like the back door, and then he kind of just turns and shoots her as she's running at him.
Yeah, no. How does that happen? Like Leonard is hiding.
I think Leonard's hiding after they kill Sabrina, I believe, because they're trying to get out of the cabin at that point.
All of a sudden, he's gone and they're looking for him. It's like, if you want to leave, just leave, man. He's gone. Oh, we gotta find him first.
Yeah.
Before we leave, okay? He started this. We're gonna finish it. So he goes in the. Oh yeah, because they were like locked in the bathroom.
They lock him in the bathroom.
Him and Sabrina, right?
No, I think Sabrina's dead at that point. Because she runs to the living room and they just shoot her, and then she falls down to the ground. I thought it was dead.
Yeah. Okay. So, I thought they were both in the bathroom because, like, I thought she went out the window because they break out the window, and then that's how she came back in. I don't remember though. And then he hid in the bathtub with the old shower curtain drawn. He'll never look in here with your big ass.
That was a cool
because he couldn't fit through the fucking hole, man.
There's no way.
It's a wedge. Wriggling. Grease me up. I can do it. And so he's in there, and then he sees the open window, and then he's probably smart enough to be like, he can't fit his big ass through that. Mm-hmm. And then points the gun at the shower and does what smart people usually don't do in movies. Rather than pull the curtain, he just shoots.
Yeah.
Through the curtain, and then pulls it. And he's there. Ah, you got me. And he shot him. He shot him like down here in the like stomach, and he's shooting like shoulder length. Batista's like in there, crammed in there like a giant against the ceiling of the shower.
Yeah, like Jackie Chan.
It's like a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
It's up on the top of the shower. So, yeah, he comes out and wrestles the gun away from him because he's fucking Batista. Give me that fucking gun. Don't shoot me, don't kill us. You know, after he gets the gun, I'm not going to kill you. You know, we're not here to hurt you. But, and then he explains that since that girl died, the nurse, even though it wasn't during the thing, that was one of their no's? Or did they have to answer again right then? I don't know.
All I remember is, time's running out. The sky is falling. Turn on the TV.
Third plague.
Yeah.
And this is when they both start to really realize maybe this is true. I think. Airplanes. Because he said, you know, the sky will fall. God's fingers will touch the earth, and the sky will turn black or something. Mm-hmm. And the planes start crashing. Boom. And it's pretty cool scenes. Yeah. Of news footage, like planes just. Over 700 planes have fallen from the sky. We don't know what it is. Some kind of technical difficulty, but it's happening to planes everywhere around the world.
Yeah. Cyber attack on planes.
And so, and he's changing the channels, and then, like, you know, of course, Andrew is trying to be like, this is all pre-recorded. This is bullshit, man. This is bullshit. You just had a production company produce some really high-res clips, hired a couple anchors. Anybody could do that. You know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. So then we have Batista, like, sitting in front of the TV. He's like, I've seen this 100 times. And he starts reciting the lines right before the girl does it on. That was a good scene.
That was cool, yeah.
That was really cool. And this just in. And he's just doing it. And like, oh my God. How'd you know she was going to do that? I told you, I've seen this a lot.
Yeah, Andrew is in such denial. He's just like, oh, is that one of your crew? And like you were saying, like, crew? I was like, no. Because he's trying to find ways of, like, he's not believing any of it, right? The first one is like, oh, they knew the earthquake happened before they even got here, so, like, they just knew. And then the second flu thing was like, oh, well, this is a pre-recorded show. This isn't a live breaking thing, so they already knew when it was going to air, and he's been looking at his watch. And the plane one is just like, there's really no explanation for that one other than, yeah. Is this part of your crew, this news anchor? You have it memorized? Like, nah. This is when Eric, I think, is starting to turn a little bit.
Yeah. And does he explain that to Andrew at all before the end? Like, this can't all be a coincidence, and Andrew's like, yes, it fucking can. It fucking can. It's like, well, what if they're right? He's like, I don't care. Then we'll walk the earth together. It's like, what kind of a life is that for when?
Yeah.
And I think this is after Batista died is when they have that discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
But then Batista is kind of explaining to them, okay, you don't quite believe me after the planes. And then I think he goes out. He says, you know, once I'm gone, you'll have mere minutes to make your decision. And because he's kind of dying from the gunshot wound to his abdomen. And so he's like, you'll have mere minutes. You either do it, or the sky will fall. It'll be over within minutes. Then he goes out to, like, the back porch, I think, right? And they're kind of like following him. He's just kind of talking. Here, follow me to the porch. Let's have a talk. He sits down, and he's got the knife, and he's like, I've seen it. He's like, the worst part is listening to the screams. You will hear the screams. I pray you do the right thing or something, you know. And he's sitting there, and you think he's going to slit his wrist or something, but...
Oh, yeah, because he's holding it, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's kind of get a shot from, like, neck down, kind of, and then you see his hand go above. He's obviously just slitting his whole fucking throat, just gruesome. And then kind of falls back in the chair, and the shirt just becomes redder and redder and redder. I think that was a CG red. I think that would have been really cool to do a practical, just bleed out. Why not? Like,
Yeah, you don't really show it anyway. You might as well use real
Yeah.
blood that drips down. Yeah.
yeah, and oh, you don't get the perfect stain. Well, it's better that way. So that's it, and they're kind of like, I don't know, man. But then like some lightning instantly hits in the forest and lights trees on fire, and the sky starts turning black. Like, oh shit, you think he might have been telling the truth, man? You don't think there's something to this, dude? Damn, bro. And they're like, oh yeah, they tell Wen to go wait in the treehouse and put on her music until one of us comes to get you. So they're kind of planning. You know, probably one of us isn't gonna make it out of here.
Yeah.
So Eric wants to die. For some reason, he wants it to be him. When Andrew was kind of the hothead, not as smart dad, I don't know why he'd want him to be the one left. I feel like Eric probably could have been the better moral compass to stay. But anyways, he's like, I've seen your future. You're picking up our daughter for lunch. She has a practice. She has a practice on Melrose. You keep in touch, and she's everything we've dreamed of. She drives an electric car. She's very thoughtful. She still asks everyone 1,000 questions. You know, and it's a touching little scene where like Andrew's older, and there's an older Asian Wen, and you know, they're getting in a car and driving away from an office setting, and so he's explaining all that, and then Andrew's like, no, please kill me. And he's like, nope, I made up my mind. And then he explains that, you know, he saw the vision and the light, and it was true. At this point, you don't need it. I mean, yeah, I know it's true now. This fucking sky's turning black, and there's lightning bolts coming down everywhere.
Oh yeah, this is like also they were think about it. There was 4 of them. They were the 4th. The apocalypse. Like all this information dump. Okay. Sure.
Well, he's obviously a theologian. He knows his Bible. So they still have the gun, and then they kind of, you know, can't really decide who's gonna go. And there's an embrace. You see 2 of them come together, and then you hear a gunshot, and then you don't know who really got the best of that or the worst of it. And then we go to the treehouse. Wen's in there, and this is gonna be our reveal. So then Andrew comes to the porthole. Hey, how you doing? Let's go. So then lightning hits the house, and like it burns, and trees fall on it, obviously like destroying all the evidence. And you know, God is like, well, no one's gonna know this happened. Don't worry. You won't get in trouble for murdering them or anything, okay? You know, I wonder, because they said in the movie, like, maybe this has been happening for thousands of years.
Yeah. Someone's
You know
had
what
to
I
make
mean?
a sacrifice for thousands of years. Yeah.
So, yeah, you wonder if this does just every once in a while. I don't know. But they leave in the truck, and they find evidence in the truck that everything that everyone said was true. Like, oh my God, she does have a son.
Yeah.
Would it be that big of a lie if she didn't? Who cares?
He was a basketball coach.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's them. I was like, yeah, well. So they leave, and she's like, can we stop in town? Why the fuck you want to stop in town? I want to go to the mall, Dad. I want to go to Claire's. Duh.
Get my ear pierced.
Yeah, I want to go to Claire's. I deserve it. Been through a lot today. Other daddy would have done it. Oh, give them the guilt trip. Take her to Claire's. So they go to the diner. The world just almost ended. The least you could do is take me to Claire's. So they go to the diner. And there's a bunch of people watching television about all the things that have happened recently with the planes and all that. All the planes are... The remaining planes have landed. We believe it's over. The water has receded into the ocean. It's like an old 40s newscaster.
Yeah.
This breaking news. This just in. So, yeah, and there's like a lady, oh, thank God, calling people, I love you, thank God you're okay. And, they get to see what they have done, their sacrifices, like, really saved the world, and they see all these people, and he starts to, he shows a little more empathy, because he hated most people because of the way they treated him.
Yeah.
But then he sees that lady, and you can tell he cared. It meant something to him. Then they get back in the truck, and still they don't know if it was like a coincidence or if they even made the right decision, because Eric's dead. And they turn on the radio, and what is it? It's the my boogie shoes. Into with that song. My boogie shoes.
Cut the credits.
And it was played earlier when they're coming to the cabin and they're all singing together. And so that's just another sign that you were supposed to be there. You're supposed to do it. But it's a bit much because it's right after it all happened. He's playing. So he turns it off. Oh, fuck. But then Wen turns it on. I wanna put on. And then she's like, well, maybe you're right. Turns it off. But then he's like, no, you're right. The first time after you thought you weren't right, but you were. my boogie shoes. And then Ghost Eric appears in the back seat. I wanna put on. You're both right. Hey, guys. You ready for the sequel? That's the end.
We made it.
It's a lot better than the end of The Mist, man. Got killed in the truck.
The Mist is kind of a downer.
like the book was. So I've never read the book, but I know the difference between the ending. And Shyamalan said he wanted to change it, and he called the book guy, was it Tremblay?
Yeah, Tremblay.
Called him and asked him, he's like, hey, I'm changing it to this, just to let you know. And he's like, oh, well, that's how I was going to end the book. That was like my second choice, but I ended up going with what I went with. So, yeah, go ahead. And that's why he changed the name, too. He said it's different. We have a different ending. I don't want to use the same exact name because it's not quite the same. They're two different things. So, like, in the book, right, I don't know too much about it, but Wen dies accidentally?
Yes.
And how does that happen?
So, all right, I want to give you kind of where the film deviates heavily. So, Adrian never dies in the way the movie shows. What happens is that Andrew goes to the car like he does in the movie. It's almost beat for beat. But it's not Sabrina. It's what's her name? Adrian. And then same thing happens. He gets the gun, shoots at her. He misses. Adrian runs off into the woods and is gone for a while. He comes back into the cabin where Eric and Sabrina and Arthur, not Arthur, God damn it, Leonard. They're all doing scuffling things. And then Sabrina runs at Andrew. Andrew shoots Sabrina. She goes down, dies. And then Leonard goes after Andrew, and they have a little scuffle with the gun. The gun goes off accidentally and shoots Wen and kills her. And then, obviously, it's a big deal. Everyone in the cabin just stops what they're doing because Leonard cares about her, too. And it's a really big moment. And then they tie up Leonard in a chair like they did him. And then the whole time he's, like, pleading. He's, like, crying because of Wen. And he's also pleading, like, you guys have to make a choice. I'm so sorry that we did not mean for any of this to happen. This is getting out of hand, et cetera, et cetera. Adrian eventually comes back, and she's like, I'm kind of just done with all of this. Like, there is a truck. We did drive here. It's up the road. We tossed the keys in a bush. It looks like this, but I can tell you what the bush looks like, but I guarantee you, if you guys leave me here, you're not going to find it. So I will escort you to the truck. You guys can get away. You can leave me here. I don't really give a fuck, but I'm just done. And in the meantime, Leonard's still like, you got to make a choice. The world's going to end. And I think Adrian kills Leonard in the chair, like bashes his head in, puts the cloth over him. And then they all agree to leave the house, and they kind of have a long walk. and Adrian's kind of walking in front of them. And in the meantime, they're having a little discussion where Eric's like, hey, and the sky's kind of starting to turn rainy and dark. And Eric's like, hey, you know, what if this is true? This is like, kind of like a normal conversation, them going back and forth, and Andrew not believing it. And then Adrian gets to the keys, and she finds like a lockbox or something next to the keys, and there's a gun inside. And then she pulls out the gun, and Andrew's still having his. There's like a standoff, and Adrian's like, you know, I can't go any further. Yada. And then she puts a gun to her head and blows her own brains out. And then Eric and Andrew are standing there again. The fucking weather is getting crazy, and Eric's basically kind of the same speech-ish, you know, more or less from the movie of like, hey, just kill me. This could be real. And then they decide not to. And then they kind of just walk off into the truck, and the book ends. So you actually never know if the apocalypse happens. You don't know whether everything was telling the truth. But that's where the main deviation starts, is with Adrian's death. Like, as soon as she dies, I'm like, oh, we're going in some different territory here.
Yeah. So, yeah, from my understanding of some things I saw was, when, like you said, died accidentally, so that doesn't count.
Yeah.
And I think everyone said it was a devastatingly sad ending, so I think what the author is trying to do is tell you, the apocalypse is still going to happen.
Yeah.
They're walking off together, and it's going to happen.
Yes.
Because the sacrifice wasn't made. So, yeah, that's an incredibly sad ending.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, kind of a waste of our 2 hours, too. So I understand why you change it. I don't know, coming from someone who read the book, if such a big change is welcome. What'd you think?
Yeah, I guess we're at the end. We can kind of give our thoughts here. I'm kind of split, you know, no pun intended. I think that 2/3 of this movie is really fun and entertaining, and you got a great performance from Batista, and it's different. I love, even in the book, and they do it more so in the movie, or around the same, which is that the invaders are like the most kind, like Leonard is the most kind, caring, compassionate, you know, murderer. You know, normally these house invasions, there's like they're all villains and they're creepy and they got little ticks or whatever. But Leonard is like, and the rest of his crew are all just like nice, caring people. They bandage Eric's head up during an injury. They sweep up after, you know, they clean up everything. Like they're kind people that have to do a horrible thing, and it's very refreshing to see. And so, yeah, you got a great performance from Batista and some of the other crew. I wasn't a fan of the guy who played Eric. I don't really buy him, especially in his end monologue. It kind of seemed over dramatic or melodramatic and kind of corny. And yeah, the changes I did not like. I am on the fence of, I did like, because the moment Wen dies is a really big moment, and it's heartbreaking. And I was nervous that they weren't gonna do it, because it is kind of hard to get an audience to still be invested in a movie after you kill a child. So not that I want Wen to die, but it was just like everything, like Adrian. There's a lot of stuff obviously in the book that you can't go into, and that's just kind of comes with the territory of making the adaptation. But there's a lot of scenes that didn't happen in the movie. You know, there's a lot of, like, they spend the night in the living room. There's a scene in the living room overnight. There's dinner scenes. There's just more backstory. You get people's inner monologues that you don't get in the movie, obviously. You never know if O'Bannon / Redman is the guy who attacked Andrew. Andrew says it in the book, but there's no finding the ID and saying, hey, I told you. In the book, you kind of just have to believe Andrew. You actually never get a conclusion with that. So I thought that was kind of a bummer. I thought that was kind of a cool, unique way. It's like, do you believe this character or not? So I was kind of bummed that they actually like definitively said that. And yeah, I don't know. Obviously I've read the book twice. I'm attached to that story. So to see it change this way, I felt a little deceived. But at the end of the day, for the most part, that was a pretty, as a movie, trying to separate myself from the book here, but as a movie, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I don't think it's Shyamalan's upper tier in his filmography. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. I think I like some of his older work better. Yeah, overall I liked it. Bummed it they didn't go as hard in the paint as the book did, but for what it was a pretty fun and fast, entertaining ride. There's no slog, there's no slowdown in the movie.
Yeah.
It's very fast. You're in, you're out, and you're done. Um, yeah, I just wish there was more character development, more characters, but it's hard to do because And it's funny you say that the movie starts right away because the book does the same thing. Page one, chapter one, when catching grasshoppers. I think Leonard shows up page 3 or 4, so they're really stuck with that. When I saw the trailer, them going to the woods, singing the song in the car, and they're hanging out in the back, jumping in the pool, I was like, oh, they're gonna have a different structure than the book. They're actually going to lead up to the Leonard thing, but then the moment the movie starts, I'm like, oh no, this is exactly like the first like 30 to 40 minutes of this movie is almost beat for beat what happens in the book. Even the dialogue is almost the same. But yeah, overall, yeah, my score. This is tough. I didn't love it, but it was an entertaining flick. I don't know. 7.2. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, 7.2.
Okay. We're way off then. I loved this movie.
Hey, nice.
Every fucking second of it, dude.
Nice.
From the beginning to the end, I thought it was fun. It was fast paced. I couldn't wait to see what the characters were going to say next and see what crazy shit or thing was going to come out of their mouths or see if somebody believed it. I really liked it. I think it's upper tier Shyamalan. But it's not necessarily his work. But
yeah.
So I think it's more Tremblay's book putting it there than Shyamalan himself.
Sure,
even though he changed the ending. I mean, he still is working within a universe and world that he didn't create. So I think we got to give credit to Tremblay that it's so good too. Yeah, I really liked it, man. The whole thing, even with meth heads screaming "fuck you" in the front row, I still managed to enjoy the hell out of this thing. So, yeah, I'm at a 8. I'm at a 8.8.
Nice.
I'm right near 9 territory. I loved it a lot. I thought it was great. I do think it suffers from the Shyamalan thing that I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as strong the second time you watch it. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Once you know everything. But the first time, like Signs, or not like Signs, but like Sixth Sense or something, I enjoyed this a lot. I don't think this is Sixth Sense good, but it's really good.
Yeah, there's one thing I will say. I've read the book twice, and it's just like the movie. It's only like 250 pages. Like you can finish it in a weekend. It's very brisk and it's easy read. It's fast. But as much as I like the book, it's not perfect. It's not a masterpiece. It's not like a classical fucking you need to read this book. I do have some issues with the book that still carry over into the film, and I think my biggest issue, or like a missed opportunity for both the book and the movie, is that I wish they would have, made it harder for the audience or the reader to like. I want to be on the fence throughout the story of whether or not what's happening is real or not, and I don't feel like the book or the movie does a good job of that. Like the moment Leonard and the group show up, I'm already on their side. They're so kind of like, you just know that they're right. Like there's never a moment in the book or the movie where I'm like, oh, maybe it's all a hoax and they're just crazy. Like it's pretty clear that what they're doing is what's going to happen. And I kind of wish the book and the movie kind of played with that a little more of like, oh, is it going to happen? Are they fucking crazy? Because I feel like the book and the movie leans heavily on one side versus the other. Maybe that's not the point. Maybe the point is like, what are these characters going to do with this information, which I think is the point. But it would have been more interesting to have that kind of split of like, oh shit, is this really happening or not? But that's a criticism to the book and the movie. I just kind of wish it would have been a more fascinating kind of piece of entertainment of like,
I think the crutch is you're supposed to root for Leonard and them.
Yeah.
And that's the twist kind of part. Right? They're supposed to be the villains. They're invading the home. Even though these two guys and their daughter aren't bad, we're not rooting against them, but we want them to join them.
Yeah.
We're rooting like, come on, just see it. Just come.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? What else do they got to do? You know,
Yeah,
they're
for
throwing away their whole lives to come here and tell you guys this, and it's not easy for them. You're making it harder, you know. So, yeah. What was yours again? 7.2, 7.2, and a 8.9. I loved it, and he was 7.2 is still pretty good score.
Yeah, it's a positive review.
Yeah, so go check it out, man. Really cool. First movie to beat Avatar. Just throwing Avatar. That's not saying much. Avatar in its 90th week. What?
December,
I mean,
I think. Yeah.
I can't believe people liked that movie, man. I came out of that movie like, what the fuck was this, dude? This is unnecessary bullshit.
Yeah.
And people ate it up. I didn't believe it was going to be that successful. Now we're definitely getting the stupid-ass sequels. Damn it.
Oh, yeah. Four more coming at you.
God. But I did hear that James Cameron might go back and play in the Terminator universe.
Hell yeah.
Like something different, though. Like, I think what he said is this time it wouldn't be about a robot, because that's, you know, that was at the time. Now it would be more about AI and kind of it's like, we'll do it, motherfucker.
They should have the Terminators come back and wipe out the Na'vi, or have a fucking Terminator Na'vi battle.
Yeah, that's right, Sully. I came back as a Terminator.
Oh my god. Epic. Crossover event of the century. Terminator versus the Na'vi.
I'm not really your Terminator, Dad. All right. Yeah, check it out. 7.2, 8.9. Knock at the Cabin. So, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. As always, please like and subscribe. Join us every Sunday for some reviews and some film discussions here. Okay, we'd appreciate you.
We have fun here. We have a lot of fun every Sunday.
We have funs. There are curses, so be aware of that.
You can't just have a curse show.
We do throw some jokes in the middle, though. Yeah, and we're also on Spotify and Apple Music, so please check us out, Brian vs. Brian. And until the next Vs, we always wish you a peace.
Peace.